everyone, this is Katie from Maximum Edge, a CIC based in the UK, aimed at strengthening communities and the people within them. You can find us online at www.maximumedge.org.uk. We're also on YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Udemy and Facebook. Over to Dave.
Hello everybody. So we're going to be continuing our series for 11 to 16 year olds, touching upon the last episode where we were talking all about resilience, expanding on that a little bit regarding our morning routine. Do you even have a morning routine? What do you do when you get up in the morning? Do you wake up to an alarm? Do you jump straight out of bed? Are you a leave everything till the morning kind of person? School uniform, college uniform, straight on, quick brush of your teeth and out the door? If that is you, I'm not here to judge, but maybe think about doing things a little bit better. How does that routine in the morning set you up for the day? If that is your routine, ask yourself, how do you feel during the day? What are you like in the first lesson of the day? So the episode today is going to be all about giving you little ideas, getting you to ask yourself some questions regarding this morning routine. Might not be a long episode, but there's going to be lots of things that you can take away and maybe try and implement into your routine. If you are doubting and thinking, well, I don't need a routine, why do I need a morning routine? Some of the highest achievers in the world, namely the inventor of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, the inventor of Amazon, so two of the biggest names in the world in terms of products and the things we utilise the most. They have morning routines in their schedule. Because in their eyes, they're winning the day. If you win the morning, you win the day. I'm referring back briefly to what we spoke about last time. Those routines, having a purpose, having a structure, ultimately help us during times of stress, during times of anxiety. So, just a few things to think about before we go on. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. Now, how are you splitting your 24 hours up? Are you getting the most out of the full day? What time are you getting up in the morning? Do you go to bed at the same time every night? And do you wake up at the same time every morning? Research tells us that when we build in these patterns, these routines, these habits into our lifestyle, we're better for it. Better mentally, better physically, and we have more clarity to be able to perform, to be able to do better in school, and ultimately become more productive in our day. So have a think now about what your morning routine is. What time do you set your alarm for? Do you get up with enough time just to do the basic things and then you're straight out the door? Or do you wake up naturally? Ask yourself this question: when you go to bed of an evening, what is the last thing you do before you go to sleep? 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to say, I mess around with my mobile phone. This blue light in the background of your mobile phone is not conducive to getting a good night's sleep. In the morning, when we wake up, what's the first thing we do? Do you reach for your mobile phone? How many, come on, be honest now, how many of you wake up and the first thing you do is reach for your mobile phone straight on social media? So these podcasts aren't here to tell you what's right and what's wrong. They're here, and the reason why we've done them is to maybe ask questions that you're not asking yourself, maybe that are uncomfortable to answer, and you've got to be accountable. It's up to you to finish listening to this and then maybe build in some routine and some little tactics into your morning schedule. And if you choose not to, then that's fine also. But we're here, we're doing these, trying to get you to think about ways that you can start to improve and better yourselves. So let's take a default morning routine on a normal day of college or day of school. So the alarm goes off, 7:30, 8 o'clock, you wake up, check your phone, you maybe go downstairs, maybe your parents have already gone to work, Maybe they're already preparing your breakfast, maybe preparing your lunch for the day ahead. Maybe you've got to fend for yourself. Maybe you get up, maybe you're a carer, maybe you have to look after a sibling or even a parent. What does that routine look like? What is your mindset when you leave for school or college that morning? Now, could it be better? Could you have everything prepared the night before? So all your school uniform ready, your lunch ready. So then when you wake up in the morning and the alarm goes off, you've not got to worry or think about getting things prepared. It's already done. You can take your time to get into the day. This also helps reduce as much anxiety as possible of that day ahead. How many of you wake up and exercise? Is that something you could fit in your morning routine? Maybe take the dog for a walk. Maybe go for a run. What about even just stretch? We spend on average 8 hours a night lying down, sometimes in the same position. When you wake up in the morning, how many actually stretch and try and open up the body and get some movement, get some blood flowing? How much water do you take on board in the morning? Do you even drink any fluids in the morning? Do you have breakfast? What kind of foods are you eating for your breakfast? Are they from a cardboard box? Or does it come in the form of natural sugars like fruits and berries and natural fats such as nuts? Maybe the topic of nutrition is an important subject for another matter. But if you're getting a lot of your nutrition from things that are inside cardboard boxes, that's something you might need to address. So the first thing when you wake up in the morning, maybe take a few deep breaths, come into the world, try and be present. What do I mean by present? I mean just being aware of maybe how your body feels. Is there any tightness? Is there any aches and pains from maybe the football or the rugby session the night before? Maybe you slept funny on your neck. Being aware of our bodies is a great start to the day so we can start to get inside ourselves and really be aware and present of what's going on. How many people make their bed in the morning? Topic we discussed in the last resilience podcast. Making your bed builds that structure, makes you accountable, ultimately helps build resilience. Make your bed in the morning. Prep your stuff ready for the day ahead the night before. I want you to do a little exercise now, and I want you to really think about your current routine in the morning. And we call it a routine. Just think of the things that you do when you wake up in the morning. Wake up, grab the phone, get out of bed, go into the bathroom, go downstairs, cup of tea, bowl of cereal, shower, changed, out. Write down everything that you do in the morning. Now at the side of this list, I want you to write down whether it makes you feel good or whether it makes you feel bad. So even go as detailed as what time you get up, what's the first thing you do when you wake up, what do you have to eat, what do you have to drink, what time do you leave for school or college or work even, and how do you feel in the first couple of hours when you get to your destination. What makes you feel good and what makes you feel bad. If there's more good things than bad things in your list, maybe you've got a pretty switched on routine in the morning. You are feeling good by the time you get to your college lesson or your school lesson or your work in the morning. You're feeling good, you're feeling productive, and you're energized and ready to go and start the day. But if you're feeling bad and you're feeling lethargic and you're being very anxious about the day ahead, you've not prepared properly, if there's more bad things than good things in your morning routine, something that we can switch up a little bit and try implementing some of these little tactics that we've spoke about already. So let's just summarise the time you wake up and the time you go to bed. Try and stick to a pattern. Obviously, I understand life gets in the way. We're not monks. Sometimes you're going to have later nights than others. But on average, if you can go to bed and wake up at the same time each evening and each morning, that is going to set you up and your body's natural circadian rhythm. So how your body is able to function during daylight and nighttime hours is going to be in sync. It's going to allow you to be the best that you can be. The times you're getting up in the morning. What is the first thing you do when you wake up? Do you breathe? Do you go inside your body to try and find out any aches and pains, how the body is feeling, any sensations? Do you get up and stretch? Do you reach for a glass of water? or do you reach for your phone? Again, I'm trying to get you to think of what you do in the morning. I'm not here to say what's good and bad. You're going to be the deciding factor as to whether it makes you feel good or bad. So then what do? When do you eat? Do you go downstairs, do you eat, or do you eat later on in the morning? Do you miss breakfast? Do you shower? Do you shower in the morning? What's your hygiene routine? Are you cleaning your teeth? Do you need to take the dog for a walk? What kind of exercise are you doing? A walk around the block? Do you actually go for a run with the kit ready the night before? Do you take the dog out, take the dog for a walk? 5, 10, 15 minutes? Maybe you listen to some music to psych yourself up for the day? Or do you like to read? Maybe you could even read for 5 minutes before you get up. And then we're looking at leaving the house, getting to what we need to do that day, and asking ourselves, how do we feel? A couple of hours into the day, how do we feel? And relate that back to the things that we've implemented in our morning routine. Another useful tool that's becoming more and more popular, and again, high achievers that I spoke about before are crediting journaling as a really good indicator of their sort of success. It enables them to really analyse the day before and try and put stuff in place for what they want to achieve in the day ahead. So for example, they may journal the night before with things like what they achieved that day, what went good that day, what was bad that day, what can we work on, things that I'm grateful for. Or they might do that process in the morning, or both. So in the morning, the first thing they do once they wake up, they are journaling, maybe looking at stuff they were dreaming about, writing down what they want to achieve that day, what they've got planned, what they're going to allocate time to do, when they're going to allocate time for themselves, i.e. sports, physical activity, maybe a bit of me time where they may block out just an hour for them to read on their own, to meditate maybe. We're talking about some real important subjects, and I do realise this podcast is catered for 11 to 16-year-old, but some of these topics that we're discussing and subjects such as meditation, being mindful, these are tools that are going to help you thrive, have been proven to help people become successful, and I believe that they are useful for young adults to deal with times of stress and anxiety. Allows you to get a little bit of headspace, put things to one side, compartmentalise things in your head, becoming present, to give yourself perspective on what things are important and what really isn't that necessary. But journaling has become really popular. Katie Sheridan of MacInnes has a really good journal published, currently on Amazon. Really good resource, little prompts to ask yourself what you've been grateful for, how you're feeling mentally, physically, emotionally on a day-to-day basis, scored out of 10. And then through the week you can analyse and see what things happened that maybe made that increase or maybe decrease that score that you're giving it out of 10. An amazing resource. Again, the art of just writing things down, getting things out of your head onto paper has been shown to reduce stress and anxiety and ultimately making people more productive in achieving their goals and ambitions in life. Again, some real adult topics, but I think it's not about patronising you and making these podcasts too basic, because I think our young adults now are mature enough through social media and the things you're exposed to on a day-to-day basis. Subjects such as mindfulness, meditation, and this journaling. I think you're ready for it. I think you can do it. I think you can implement these things into your life, into your morning routine, and you can thrive. I hope you get some use out of this episode. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you soon.